Thanks for your company this afternoon here on NPL.tv and on the Football West Facebook page and YouTube channel. My name's Tommy Dolman and it's great to be here to call you through this headline fixture of this weekend's round of women's football. As you can see, it's a pretty still day at the moment. We had a little bit of rain earlier this morning in the west, but thankfully it has stayed away for now at least. And we get the best opportunity to see these two teams play some of the football. One game which began round 12 last night. It was Balcatta who got the points with a 2-0 win over Curtin University, thanks to late goals from Monique Godding and Monique Prinsloo, which strengthened their top four hopes. Tomorrow it's Fremantle City hosting Mum FC and Hyundai NTC hosting Subiaco at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively. Of course, you can catch highlights and match replays of all the games across the weekend on NPL.tv by downloading the app, signing up for a free account and logging in on all your devices to view the action wherever you may be around Australia and the world. But our focus will be here this afternoon at the home of Perth Soccer Club, slightly north of the CBD here in the west. Jatin Lodia will be your referee out in the middle, and he'll be assisted by Ethan Purse and Nicholas Cirillo. Both teams in their huddles at the moment. Red Star have broken from theirs in their all-red kit with the white numbers. And Perth just about to break from theirs in their predominantly light blue jerseys with the white shorts. The assistants are just doing their bits of pre-game admin, checking that the goal nets are good to go. And we're not far away from this 1 p.m. kickoff here. And after 11 rounds of season 2022, it's very much a Red Star versus the field situation, given their stunning start to the year. These two haven't played yet, though, given their COVID postponement early in the campaign. So for any hope of a title race in the NPL WA women's competition, it really seems like now or never for Perth today if they still harbour ambitions of reeling in a 10-point deficit. The big question is will Red Star's rise continues, or will Perth's possibilities in season 2022 percolate a little bit more? We're about to find out. Off and running, Red Star get us underway, kicking from the left to the right of your broadcast this afternoon. Perth from right to left. Early touch here for Quinn Doan. Sean Billam's little turn around the corner goes out for a throw-in, and Perth will get the throw. One of the Super Saturdays here at Dorrien Gardens. 4 games back-to-back this afternoon. Usually it's 5, but there was a postponement announced between the 18s NPL men game, which is happening a little bit later on. The senior game, that is anyway, between Perth Soccer Club and Stirling, Macedonia. That is the DT 38 match with the Dylan Tombides Trophy being played for. That game is a 5 p.m. kickoff in the west, and one of 4, as mentioned, that's going to happen throughout the afternoon. This is the second of those as McMurdo plays up the line. Carla Bennett intercepts. She plays off Nadia Harvey. And Red Star will stay on the front foot at least for now. Bennett really crunching challenge there. Won the 50-50 with Duncanson. Little ball forward, picked off by Connolly. She slings the ball wide, looking for Liana Cook, but over her head it goes, and Emily Dunn will race away and get things underway again from a throw-in. As mentioned before, Red Star's season so far has been simply phenomenal. To date, 10 wins out of 10 in the competition this season. Last week they won 1-0 away at Subiaco. That was actually the end of Larissa Walsh's run of scoring in every fixture prior to the weekend, and it was the first time this season that Red Star had scored less than 3 goals in a game. So just goes to show how dominant they have been, with 45 goals across those matches. They also have the league's best defence, along with Perth, who, like Red Star, have only conceded 5 so far. Turnover here, intercepted by Coleman. Walsh trying to just roll away from her marker, and coming across there with a good read on the play was Faye Phillips. Wood plays off Harvey and wins the first corner of the afternoon, which Carla Bennett will go over to take. Player who's made a record number of appearances for Red Star / Redbacks. Holds a hand up and aims that in towards the 6-yard line. Bennett came. She came a long way, didn't get there. Volley was hit by Dunn, and she didn't quite make the contact desired, and that'll trickle wide for a Perth goal kick. Just on Perth's season, they did have a couple of frustrating results. A goalless draw away at Mum FC, and also a 2-1 defeat here against Hyundai NTC. Coleman, ball forward. Bennett looks to pick out Walsh, who's in the area. Flag's gone up, though, and even if she didn't score, it wouldn't have counted. Just back on Perth, they've won 6, drawn 2, and lost 2 in their 10 games so far. Their only 2 losses have incidentally come against Hyundai NTC. And in those games are the only occasion that they have conceded a goal in this season as well. So, as mentioned before, both of these teams have been defensively excellent in this campaign. Arguably, Perth come off their best performance of the season last week in a 3-0 home win against Fremantle City, where Abby Meekins got 2 of the goals. Here they come now, trying to get something going through midfield. Cook for Spadano, tries to return the pass for Cook, who nearly got on the end of it, but Dunn was putting a foot in and poking over the sideline. Butler and loses out to Walsh. Coleman ran into Butlian, who was on the retreat. Now Cook plays forward for Butlian as the wind picks up a little bit here at Dorrien Gardens. Emma McMurdo will try her luck off the underside of the bar. Didn't cross the line according to the linesman, and then Duncanson on the follow-up was in an offside position. So even if she had put in on the rebound, it wouldn't have counted. Well, we know Emma McMurdo's capable of that sort of goal. She scored a brilliant one against Curtin University a few weeks ago. And she wasn't far away at all from giving the Azzurri a first half lead. Here's Doan. Little ball inside to Olivia Wood, who ran into Spadano. Coleman will come in and help her teammate. Went to ground after then running into Van Hurk herself. Play continues. Bennett releasing pass. Wood couldn't quite reel it in, and it'll run through to Bennett, who's kept 8 clean sheets in 10 matches this season for Perth. 7 in the last 8 games as well. And that's a really good pass to find her fullback in Harvey. Pass forward cut off by Carroll. Now Billum hooks around the corner, giving chase to Walsh and Cook. And Walsh gets there first and helps back to Dunn. Coleman. Dunn. Little pass forward, went under the boot of Walsh. That should allow Van Hurk to tidy up. Bennett's clearance intercepted by Walsh. Touch was a little heavy. Van Hurk can mop up. And now Phillips will play up the line for Meekins, but Perth having a little bit of trouble getting out in recent times. And now Carroll will send the releasing pass for Sarah Carroll, who stayed on side. Pull back to the edge of the area Spadano snapping into the challenge, and it was deemed that Walsh fouled the midfielder, and it'll be a Perth ball. Harvey's throw. Butlian will get on the end of it. Cross. Deflects off Carroll. That's Kim Carroll, and Perth will now get their first set piece of the afternoon. It's not been a bad start at all, this one, from the home team. They'd love an early goal here to give themselves that little bit of confidence. Corner taken short by Duncanson. Faye Phillips offers herself, drives it in. Ball was blocked by Billam. McMurdo looking for an option, but she's put under the pump by Walsh and Bennett, and then draws the foul from one of the pair. Perth will get an opportunity to stay on the front foot here, and free kick in a decent position. It'd be a special goal if there was a strike to beat Battaglia from here. Perth have got 5 players in the penalty area awaiting the delivery. Free kick taken short by Phillips to McMurdo. Coleman read the danger and stepped up, and she'll try to launch Red Star onto the counter-attack. Walsh is wide left, returns it back for Coleman, who continued her run. Bennett looks to pick out Walsh, who continued on. Play breaks down, and then McMurdo just decides to hoist it up in the air and give Perth a little bit of time to re-establish their defensive shape. Van Herk and Duncanson do well to get out of a tight corner. Carroll read the pass upfield. McMurdo wins the 50-50 from Coleman, and now Perth will try and go in the other direction. Spadano's pass. Cook stayed onside. She's looking for an option wide. It now presents itself in the form of Phillips, who's got plenty of time to size this one up here. Driven ball, touch off Billam. Spadano with a volley. She had all sorts of time there to get the strike away, and if it wasn't for Carroll being in the way, that might have troubled Battaglia, and now Red Star will come the other way. End-to-end stuff here in this first half. Bennett couldn't pick a pass. In fact, it was Carroll who released that ball. Spoke about Perth coming off their best league performance of the season last weekend against Fremantle City. They also had a 12-1 win in the Cup against Subiaco. Opportunity for a couple of players like Ella Lincoln and Liana Cook to get amongst the goals. Coleman's pass. Walsh has managed to stay onside. She's got Carroll in the middle, in all sorts of space. And she punishes Perth's defence in emphatic fashion. And in the blink of an eye, Red Star break up field, and they open the scoring through Sarah Carroll, who strikes in back-to-back games. And Red Star hit the front here at Dorrien Gardens. Sarah Carroll's 9th goal of the season gives Red Star the early break. A little bit of a repeat of last weekend's goal, to be honest, with Walsh also squaring for Carroll at Rosalie Park. That one came in the second half. This one came inside the first 15 minutes. And it came after a reasonably promising Perth start. They'll look to try and answer back quickly with Cook. Wide right, little ball inboard for Meekins, who's not seen a lot of it so far. Spadano with a midfield run, plays it off Billam. Perth will get a chance to hit back quickly from this set piece potentially. Duncanson's got the short on again, and once more it's Phillips, who's got plenty of time to put a good ball into the area. It's aimed in towards Cook, who got the header, and it nearly broke for Meekins. Last touch was off a red shirt, and Perth will have another crack from the dead ball. This time Walsh looks as though she's going to go and keep Phillips company over on that far side to try and prevent another short from being taken. This time it's aimed in towards a penalty spot. Leaping was Coleman. Battaglia will go and try to prevent the corner, and she does so, and Red Star will get a little bit of respite. McMurdo to Phillips. Walsh was there putting a bit of pressure on. Pressure was good enough to force a turnover. So just on Sarah Carroll as well, 9 goals for the season. Not that she's a forgotten player as such, but obviously given Larissa Walsh's form with 15 goals in her first 10 games, she's very much been second fiddle in terms of the Golden Boot race at both NPL WA level and at the club. Nevertheless, she's putting together a very nice run of form with 5 goals in her last 5 matches. Here's Coleman, who's also been in the goals as well this term. 7 for her so far. Player who loves to break forward from midfield and arrive in the penalty area. Certainly one of the star midfielders of the competition. A player who polled pretty well in the gold medal race last year, one which was won by Tia Stonehill. New Zealand-born player who was once of Fulham's ladies' side. Here's Wood. Coleman leaves it. Little ball threaded through. Walsh couldn't quite reel it in, and in any case, the offside flag was up. Bennett tried to take it quickly. Coleman nearly intercepted and then just lost her footing at the crucial moment, and Meekins was able to step in. Pass from Phillips, cut off by Walsh, who then plays a 1-2 with Carroll. Little pullback, was looking for her strike partner. And the last touch came off a retreating Connolly, I think it was, back there. And Red Star do win the corner, but the visitors do have a player down off the ball. I think it may be Phillips. Phillips back to her feet now. She will be required to depart the pitch for the moment while the physio just checks on her to see if she's okay to resume. Perth will defend this set piece with a player less. In comes the ball from Bennett, aimed towards Coleman. Spadano won the initial header. Billum was trying to latch onto the break of the ball. Eventually there's a Perth leg which pokes it away. And now Jamie Duncanson will roll forward and try to set Perth on their way. She's only really got Butley with her. And the delay of the pass allowed Red Star to get back and organise their defence and diffuse the danger. Could be danger going the other way for Perth, but Connolly was back making good challenge. Player who was known really in her first 2 years of the NPL WA women's competition as a central midfielder. Stepped into defence this season as a ball-playing central defender and has been a big part of Perth's good build-up from the back. She has a good win there and finds Meekins with a pass. She beats Billum pretty easily and then lays into the feet of Butley, and Meekins continue to run. Perth have got a few options forward here, but Red Star have got numbers back for now. Meekins then goes to ground and draws the contact. And it looks as though before this free kick's going to be taken that we will have a substitution. So I don't think Phillips is going to be okay to continue. She is walking around the pitch off of your screen. Coming on in her place is Ella Lincoln. So striker on for fullback, which will mean a little bit of a reshuffle. We'll see what unfolds in that respect after this free kick, but Lincoln will go straight into the penalty area. Lincoln with just the one this season, but scored a few in midweek against Subiaco, as mentioned before. Here's McMurdo's set piece. It's aimed in towards Battaglia, and it was a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, who was actually here at Dorrien Gardens last season. Shivani Battaglia was the hero in the under-20s women's top four cup final in the penalty shootout, as Perth won that over Fremantle City. Here's the substitute Lincoln driving forward. Good foot in from Doan as the sun pokes its way through the clouds. A little bit of blue sky above is a welcome sight on this June afternoon. Harvey's throw. Lincoln brings it down nicely, drives into the area, gets the better of Carroll, and arriving was Duncanson, who should have really hit the target from there, and Perth carve out another good opportunity. Battaglia very happy to watch that one fly straight over her bar. And you would have backed a player in the form of Jamie Duncanson to ripple the back of the net, having scored 8 goals this season already, Perth's leading scorer Looks as though Liana Cook has gone into right back, by the way, as part of that reshuffle from the Phillips substitution. Lincoln has come over to this left wing area, and Duncanson has now gone over to the right. Free kick to Red Star. Kim Carroll over the ball, just behind halfway. She'll play into the feet of Sarah Carroll. Doan forward from full back, cross into the area. It's behind all of those red shirts that were in the penalty area. And eventually Duncanson will get on the end of it. Spadano. Now Meekins, a little bit of space between the lines. Pass forward for Butleyan, who's got Duncanson making a move out wide. Duncanson then played forward, hoping that Butleyan would continue her run, but her teammate's not quite on the same wavelength on that occasion, and Red Star should be able to tidy up and do. Through Carroll. Perth free kick here. They've got 6 ahead of the ball in the penalty area. It's aimed in and headed away by Billam. Duncanson. Ball drops for Meekins. Van Yerk. And then Doan was able to win the challenge against Lincoln. Perth continuing to press here. Lincoln rolls away from her marker. That's a teasing ball into the area, and Duncanson tried to help it on. A difficult chance on that occasion, and not quite able to wrap her foot around the ball and keep it down and find the target. So 25 minutes into this round 12 women's NPL WA clash. A top of the table fixture here at Dorrien Gardens. It's Perth Soccer Club 0, Perth Red Star 1. Sarah Carroll's 9th goal of the season, the difference so far. Perth have played pretty well in this game though, have created a number of opportunities, but Red Star is so dangerous on the break, and here they go again. It's Walsh driving into the area. That was really good defending from Connolly. Still here for Wood, though, possibly. Now Coleman. And then weight of Perth numbers getting back should do just enough, although Carroll swung a boot at it from distance as it broke to her, and she wasn't able to be as close to the target as she was a moment or two ago. Lincoln rolls away from Doan. Left footer is driving down the left. Doan was retreating though, doing her defensive duties. And she wins her team a throw with the last touch off Lincoln. Clearance upfield from Battaglia. Connolly, dangerous pass back. Larissa Walsh will intercept. Cook stayed on her feet though and did really well, having slotted into that right back position. Danger, not clear just yet though, and Walsh was sliding in again, trying to make a nuisance of herself. On that occasion, Connolly did well once again. Billam. Kim Carroll, Billam again, little clip forward. We'll run through to Bennett. Van Herk, McMurdo. Coleman was lurking. Wood. Walsh. Little ball forward. Took a touch off Harvey, I think. Clearance from Van Herk. Now Coleman again. Carla Bennett. Little switch out wide. Doan almost waited for that to come to her. Eventually got it back to Kim Carroll. Bennett's pass. Nearly a little short for Coleman. Hence it was a rushed pass ahead of her, and Perth were able to win the ball back, albeit still with an element of danger around it until they get the ball back to Bennett and they can reset. Harvey gave McMurdo a task in terms of trying to control that. Connolly's had a pretty good game at the back today. She's once again clearing for Duncanson, who'll race to try and keep that one alive, but can't quite do so. Carroll's cross aimed in towards Wood. Harvey got in front of her opponent and was able to just hack that one wide. I just feel now after that good spell from the Azuri earlier in the game that Red Star are starting to take control a little bit. They've had Perth pinned back in their own territory for the last couple of minutes. Coleman, ball into the feet of Wood. Doan's in a little bit of space here to cross. In it comes. Making the late run from midfield was Bennett, and it just evaded her. Might yet stay in over on the far side. And it does. Carroll stopped thinking it was going out, and Cook was able to clear into her opponent. And Perth will get the ball back. It's been a happy hunting ground over the years. Well, in the NPL WA years, at least, for Red Star / Red Backs at this ground. Billam wins the 50-50 battle, strike at goal. High over the goal and into the netting. Just back on that record, in fact, Red Backs / Red Star had won all 5 league matches going into today's clash. Although the Azuri did win the preliminary final match between the pair last season. After extra time on what was a rain-sodden night, Jamie Duncanson's extra time winner giving them the win on that night. But Red Star had won on their previous 3 visits to Dorrien Gardens in the league before that. And they lead this one here by a 1-0 as well. Perth having only scored in 2 of the 6 overall fixtures played between the pair in the NPLW era prior to today's clash. McMurdo tried to drive forward. She was fouled after releasing the ball. Free kick from McMurdo. Butlin won the initial header. Still not cleared just yet for Red Star. Eventually, Billam's able to poke away. Driven back in by Cook. And now Duncanson whistles it just wide of the post. Battaglia perhaps had it covered in any case, given she was guarding that near post. But once again, Perth proving that they are able to give Red Star a few problems at the back. Just lacking that clinical edge inside the penalty area thus far. Don't switch the play. Beautifully brought down by Coleman, who'll try to release the pace of Walsh, and she'll run onto the ball, drive into the area, and will slot straight at Bennett. And that was a really good opportunity for Red Star to double their lead. He expected the net to bulge there with Walsh bearing down on goal. Not on this occasion, though. Bennett got her positioning on point, and Perth remain only the solitary goal down. Spadano, one of the best women's futsal players in the state is Zoe Spadano. Player with really good technical ability. In the centre of the park for Perth, wearing the captain's armband as well. Throw from Harvey, Butlian. Billam clearing upfield. Van Herk will try to watch it over the line initially, instead plays it into Carroll. And then gets play restarted quickly. To Connolly and now to Cook. Ball played forward, was looking for the feed of Spadano, but Carroll was intercepting and then ordering her defence to press out. Really is a privilege to be watching Kim Carroll playing at this level. Over 50 appearances for the Matildas, of course. And that's a super pass forward, which was looking for Walsh, who's quick, but not quite that quick in terms of being able to get on the end of it. Little 1-2 between Spadano and Butlian. Ball there actually hit the referee on its way through, so he'll drop the ball and Perth will get things moving again. Van Herk, Spadano. Van Herk again, who was so impressive last week in that 3-0 win over Fremantle City. Snapping into the challenge was Duncanson. Carroll, little ball around the corner. Walsh will try to utilise her pace. Getting back was McMurdo, who was deemed to have made illegal contact by Jatin Ladia. That'll be a Red Star free kick as we approach the final 5 minutes of this first half, where Red Star lead by a Sarah Carroll goal to nil and look as though they're going to be extending their lead at the top of the NPL WA women's competition. Ball in from Bennett. Wood was looking to ghost in at the back post, and Bennett was swiftly off her line to make sure that that wasn't possible, and the distribution was good, not for the first time today, into the path of Cook, and that's a super pass forward for Butlian. Battaglia raced off her line and got her body in the way of the ball. Really good read there from the goalkeeper, who stormed off her line quickly and made sure that Butlian wasn't able to get the shot towards goal. Here's Dunn. Touch from Wood was a little heavy. Meekins was able to step in. Now Nadia Harvey will try and get forward from the back. Pass was looking for either Butlian or Duncanson. Dunn was in the right place to deal with it. She's got some defending to do again, though. Duncanson's reverse pass was a little overhit, but there was a touch on the way through, and Perth will get a corner, one which they'll take quickly. Duncanson's cross. Lincoln was at the near post, and it was an important header from Doan back there to make sure the substitute didn't get on the end of it. Now Cook drives back towards goal. Clearance from Ruby Cohen. And yet another Perth corner, who are trying to ratchet up the pressure again with 3 minutes to play before half-time. In it comes from Duncanson. Van Herk got her head to it. It was only a glancing touch in the end, though, and Carroll will emerge with it and clear upfield. Perth have got to sort it out between themselves across the back. Able to do so with a 3-on-1 situation. Now Van Herk, who stayed forward from the set piece, has got some work to do here against Carroll. She got back to her feet and won the throw in for her team. Lincoln spins away. Butlian gives chase. And Jatin Ladir will deem that there was no advantage and pull back for the free kick. Perth have seemingly found their feet again. After that little run that Red Star had, where Walsh could have made it 2-0. McMurdo on free kick duties. Dangerous ball. Battaglia came with 2 fists and beat it away. Visitors having to do some defending in their first meeting of the season with the Azzurri. Duncanson's ball in again. Coleman with the header inside the 6-yard box, and it'll be another corner for Perth, 3 in a row. Taken short, Spadano's cross, dangerous. McMurdo flew at it. And there was a touch off a Red Star player. Yet again on the way through. Plenty of set piece practice, that's for sure. Can they make one count? Cook, Carroll clears. Spadano on the edge of the area, trying to make a yard to shoot. And now McMurdo will drive. Doan was in the way of it. And that will be the last action of an entertaining first half here at Dorrien Gardens. The top of the table clash between Perth Soccer Club and Perth Red Star. A game which is in favour of the visitors at the moment by 1-0. Sarah Carroll's 9th goal of the season separates the sides after a Red Star burst upfield. Walsh utilising her pace and squaring for the forward to slot in with real assurance. But Perth have played pretty well and have more than emphasised why they're second in the league at the moment. They came closest when Emma McMurdo hit the underside of the crossbar and the ball bounced away to safety, and then Jamie Duncanson put over the bar from 6 yards after an Ella Lincoln cross. Work to do still for Red Star, though, on the basis of that first half, if they are to go on and get the 3 points and take a 13-point lead at the top of the NPL WA women's competition. But they do lead by 1-0. Welcome back to Dorrien Gardens for the second half of this round 12 NPL WA women's competition fixture between the top two sides in the league, Perth Soccer Club and Perth Red Star. Score at the break is 1-0 in favour of Red Star, a goal that was provided to them by Sarah Carroll. Larissa Walsh with a chance to make it 2-0 as the half wore on, but Perth have certainly been well and truly in this game. Emma McMurdo hitting the underside of the bar and Jamie Duncanson putting over from Ella Lincoln's cross from around 6 yards out. Perth have certainly shown that they've been able to upset Red Star a little bit in this first 45, but they're going to need to be more efficient if they are to turn around this one goal deficit they face at the break. We're off and underway. Once more, no changes from either team at the interval, and Perth are looking to make a fast start. Stepping out was Doan, though, and now Wood will look for an option up the line. It presents now in the form of Sarah Carroll, but the ball had already crossed the sideline, and it'll be an Azuri throw. Just in case you are joining us late on for this 1 p.m. fixture. Been a pretty good game so far. Both teams have had their opportunities. Which is somewhat of a surprise, I suppose, given that these are the two best defences of the league on show, but part of that's also down to the quality of player that we have on show here at Dorrien Gardens. Long upfield from Battaglia. She finds a teammate in Coleman. Swarming around her were a couple of Perth jerseys. Now McMurdo's release wide. Duncanson. Connolly. Touch was a little heavy, but she put it through the legs of Billam, and then Cohen was back and cleaning up. So much spoken about the senior players and the ones like Billam, Bennett, Kim Carroll, Sarah Carroll, Emily Dunn, who have been there and done that over a number of years, but there's also a really exciting young brigade coming through here at Red Star. A few of those players on show today in Cohen and Olivia Wood. And also in Kuen Doan as well, who's playing in the right back position too. And they certainly have been the benchmark in season 2022, no doubt about that. Backing up off a impressive 2021 as well, it should be added. Well, they fell just 2 points short of Murdoch University Melville in their race for the league title, which went neck and neck for the majority of the campaign. Still got a little bit of work to do here if they are to extend their 100% record in season 2022. Lincoln was trying to make inroads. Clearance hit Harvey and then fell to Coleman. Van Hurk lost her footing. Wood was able to breeze away. Harvey was backtracking though and getting back in position. Wood still continued on her way down the right. Last touch was off her and it did cross the line before she was able to pull back to Walsh in the middle. Perth patient in trying to play out from the back. Now the space emerges for Van Hurk, who plays wide for Harvey. Meekins, Cook was shouting for a switch of the play. She's still in plenty of space. Van Hurt goes up the line instead to Butlian. And then the little passing board was cut out by Carla Bennett, but Perth recover pretty well. McMurdo to Duncanson. Cook still out wide. Cross to the edge of the area for Spadano. Carroll was stepping out, and then Coleman was back on the edge of the area defending from midfield, and Red Star are able to come away. Looks as though there's been a little bit of a change up from Perth. Not in terms of personnel. But it did appear for a moment that Ella Lincoln and Courtney Butlian had switched positions, although they have just swapped back to their places that they were in the first half. Lincoln, of course, the first half substitutes for Faye Phillips, who went off with an injury. Billam. Coleman has Bennett alongside her. Numbers ahead of her. Inboard she goes for Coleman, who's got Carroll and Walsh inside the area. Larissa Walsh. Cross was charged down by Cook. Second time round, she took the strike on and couldn't hit the target. Just a phenomenal season from Red Stars number 3, who's done a lot of work on her finishing in the past 2 off seasons. She shared the Golden Boot in season 2021 with Tia Stonehill, and she's backed that up with 15 in 10 so far this term, in the league at least. Bennett plays into Meekins. Van Hurk thought about going back to Bennett, but Wood was in pole position to shut that down had she done so. So clearance was made out wide instead. Now Lincoln rolls away from Doan, but the Red Star defender got a foot in once more. It's been a good battle between those two over on the far side throughout. Harvey's throw was over Doan. Butlian driving towards the byline. Just Duncanson in the middle in support so far, so she has to check back. Attempted switch the play. McMurdo helps it forward. Cohen is able to bring under control and find Billam. Battle between Butlian and Billam goes the way of the Red Star skipper. Player who is closing in on 200 first team games for the club. Kim Carroll. Jay Coleman. Cohen for Dunn. Ball around the corner. Wood is giving chase. Bennett has to spring off her line, and she does so to good effect. Beaten for only the 6th time this season, Rebecca Bennett. Oh, sloppy giveaway here from Perth potentially. Red Star will look to capitalise. Walsh got a foot in. Coleman then trying to feed it back through for the striker who had her skates on, but the pass was slightly mispassed. Meekins. Spadano was outmuscled there by Billum. Now Carroll into the feed of Emily Dunn, who in another milestone is closing in on 250 games over the next 3 weeks. Will Coleman touch, got away from her. Spadano can intercept. She'll try to slide the pass between 2 red jerseys for Duncanson, but wasn't quite able to execute. Now Walsh, who's come deep to get involved in the game. Red Star able to exchange passes and play out from the back to good effect. Billum possibly caught late there by Connolly. Play continues for now. Billum a little slow to get to her feet. Now Wood tries to take on Harvey. Little ball ahead of her for Sarah Carroll, who's pulled back. Hit Van Hierk. Still here for Red Star. Sliding in there was Harvey again. Now Perth can try and come away, and they've got some numbers forward here, although none really in the vicinity of Duncanson. Now Butlian makes the run up the line. She's in a foot race with Cohen, who got in a really good position there and stayed on her feet and won the challenge. Walsh's ball inside. Bennett plays ahead of her. Walsh continued her run. Pull back to the edge of the area for Sarah Carroll, whose pass didn't find the feed of Coleman initially, and Perth are able to turn it over. Once again, though, they just can't quite keep the ball to feed in that middle to final third. And now the pass forward from Bennett. We'll try and pick out Walsh. It was a great challenge from Connolly. In any instance, Walsh had gone a little bit too early and she was offside. So a decent crowd in the house here at Dorrien Gardens this afternoon for the 1 p.m. kickoff. Something that Perth do really well of their Super Saturdays, where they try and have 4 or 5 games end on end, ranging from the men's 18s, 20s and first team to the women's 20s and women's first team, which is the game we're seeing at the moment. Under 20s men are playing at 3 p.m. and then it's Perth versus Stirling Macedonia in the DT 38 game at 5 p.m. You can catch that one on NPL.tv later on. Throw from Harvey's a good one for Lincoln, who'll get past Doan, cross into the area. Butlian brings it under control. Billum got an important challenge in, as the former Fremantle City player trying to turn in the area. Back in the NPL WA after a spell in the US college system. Played over in Florida. Meekins winning the free kick in midfield, and Walsh, fair to say, disagreed with the decision from the referee, and as a result, she's gone into the referee's notebook. First booking of the afternoon. And now Sean Billen will just go over and have a chat with the referee to possibly seek some opinion on why that free kick was awarded. Meekins a little slow to get back to her feet, but is back up now. Play will be resumed through a Perth free kick taken by Van Hurk. Billum got her head to it, dangerously drifted backwards. Coleman was able to make a final clearance, and now Red Star will try to burst forward on the break. Van Hurk did really well there initially to halt the progress of the counter-attack, and that allowed Perth to get numbers back, and in the end they won out as they can now try and burst forward themselves. Botlian plays back for Nadia Harvey, who looks in board. For Emma McMurdo, Walsh was lurking. McMurdo continued on her way. She's got Ella Lincoln ahead of her. Kim Carroll is best placed to deal with that one, though. And she'll use all that experience against her younger opponent to just shield that one out and allow Red Star to resettle. So, an hour played here at Dorrien Gardens. Perth Soccer Club 0, Perth Red Star 1. Sarah Carroll's 13th minute goal, still the difference, as Red Star look to continue their 100% start to season 2022. Tommy Dolman with you on the call this afternoon here on NPL.tv and on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. Curtin 0, Balcatta 2 last night. Fremantle City versus Mom FC and Subiaco versus Hyundai NTC to follow tomorrow. Van Hurk. Cook's got a little bit of space here. She ran into Dunn and hit the deck. No foul awarded by the referee, and now the pass forward will try to release Walsh. The two number 3s in battle for the ball. Walsh's pass across goal. Sarah Carroll will eventually latch onto it. She's got support in the form of Olivia Wood, who drives at goal, and she skews it off the outside of her boot, and Bennett can watch wide. Lincoln spins away. Tangle of legs there in the middle of the field. Play on, says the referee. Doan did her best there to try and keep it alive over on the far side, but just lost her footing at the crucial moments. Perth try and get something going, desperate to try and claw back something out of this game to keep their decent run going, unbeaten in 3 at the moment, going into today's game. Got around 27 minutes or so to try and get one back. Chances have been less frequent for them, though, in the second half, it has to be said. Shouts for handball there were flagged by the assistant referee. Carroll's free kick, Van Heurk's header. Butlin and Meakin sort it out between themselves. Billum got a foot in. McMurdo will find Duncanson out wide, or at least tried to. Slipped out of her reach. Red Star come the other way, and they'll try to utilise the pace of Walsh, who's flying down this left-hand side. She's got Cook beaten for speed, cross into the area. Carroll was arriving, as too was Wood, and it was Harvey who put behind. And it was an important intervention because had Harvey left that, Wood would have likely had a tap in at the back post. In at the near post from Bennett. Not the most convincing of clearances, but it was effective. Nevertheless, still here for Red Star, though. Doan's ball back in. Bennett shouted for it. Van Heurk eventually left it. And the goalkeeper was able to snaffle that one up. Clearance looks for Duncanson. Dunn won the initial header. Will eventually break for McMurdo, who's pickpocketed by Coleman. Wood lays off for Jay Coleman again. Little 1-2 with Sarah Carroll. She continues her run. Connolly was diligent at the back. And the last touch over there was off Carroll as Harvey hit the deck, and it'll be a Perth ball. Looks as though Carlos Vagamena will turn to the bench for the first time this afternoon. We'll see the experienced former New Zealand international, Renee Liotta, enter the field, known for being a little bit of a super sub. Player with plenty of experience who can change the dynamic of that forward line. She'll come on in place of Olivia Wood, and looks as though Carroll will go over to the right, and Liotta will take up that centre forward position. She's involved in the play straight away. McMurdo back defending. Spadano ran into Billum. Billum's cross. Wood tried to cushion a header into the path of Liotta. And then Harvey was able to clear upfield. Kim Carroll. Doan is down off the ball. Watched it just go straight on by her. Red Star will continue to attack, though. Walsh needs a little bit of support. Manages to wheel it onto that right boot. Cross is picked off by McMurdo. Ball forward will just run away from Spadano, who still wins the challenge. And the 50-50 with Coleman. And now Jason Lazier will go over and just check if Doan's okay. Not sure Perth were happy and ready to put that one out, but Doan will get a little bit of attention. She's back to her feet now. Pete Rakic uses this as an opportunity to try and rally his side. Brings the whole team over for a bit of a team talk. The former NPL WA title-winning coach, where he won it with Murdoch University Melville in 2020. Urging his team to launch a final assault with around 20 minutes to play in this second period. Red Star still down to 10 for the moment with Doan off the pitch. Connolly. Nadia Harvey. Lincoln. Harvey was making the run forward from fullback. Opts to go back for Connolly instead. Now Lincoln. A little bit of room to move into. Pass forward. We'll look for the run of Butlin. And Battaglia will come out and dive on the ball. Carroll. Ball inside. Jay Coleman. Touch out of her feet. In for Walsh. And now Carla Bennett will strike one left-footed. It hit her own player. Duncanson will emerge and she'll clear up the line. Bit of a task for Butlin to try and keep that one in play, and she's unable to get there. Clearance upfield from Dunn. Liotta is 1 against 3, but she emerges with the ball. Now Walsh try to thread it back through for Liotta, who slides in. Spadano and Walsh give chase. Duncanson, Spadano. Pass straight into Bennett, her opposite number 6. Assistant referee over on that far side will just double check to see whether Doan is okay to return to the field of play. Eventually she's waved back on. Both teams are restored to 11 players each. Sarah Carroll, plenty of space to run into. She's got Doan to her right, cross into the area. Bennett was arriving. Coleman was in the vicinity. Billum thought about shooting. Meekins closed her down quickly. Forward again from Kim Carroll. McMurdo's able to cushion that one back for Connolly, who's under the pump from a couple of Red Star players, but he's able to get it upfield for Butlin. Duncanson. Ball will look for the running Butlin, but Carroll is in position A once again to deal with that. Second change coming up here for the visitors, and it'll be Larissa Walsh who exits the field. She'll be replaced by Jaina Ridley, so like-for-like swap. A little bit of a frustrating afternoon for Walsh, who after scoring in her first 9 games this season has now drawn a blank in her last 2, but she sits well clear at the top of the goal-scoring charts. One of those afternoons, she had a good chance that she couldn't quite put away in the first half, and then picked up a yellow card in this second period. Ridley will take her place on this left-hand side, and she'll get into that penalty area now as the visitors win a free kick. Quite a central position, a long way out for a shot, you'd think. Bennett's ball in. Rebecca Bennett, that is, dived on it and read it with a couple of red shirts looming. Kim Carroll. Ruby Cohen. Pass tried to find the feet of Ridley. Duncanson intercepted it. Broke for Liotta. Cool, calm defence there from Melissa Van Yerk. And Bennett tried the early release to pick out Duncanson wide right. Just slipped off the outside of the foot and spun away into touch. Dunn's clearance. Van Yerk's read. Ridley's play forward. Switch the play from Coleman. Invites Doan to drive ahead from full back. Passing to the feet of Sarah Carroll. Bennett, little turn around the corner. Carroll racing to get on the end of it. Lincoln's back defending. Carroll kept her feet. The pull back for Coleman. It was good defence from Connolly, who got in the way, as she has done on a couple of occasions this afternoon. Perth stay alive, but they are gradually being pinned back deeper and deeper. It's Red Star who are looking to get a second and sealing goal here. Don't touch a little heavy. Harvey slid in. Out for a throw it goes. Peter Rakic pondering what his next move could be. Carroll's cross, spilled by Bennett initially. Gathered at the second time of asking, with Ridley ready to apply the finishing touch. Former Queen's Park goalkeeper Rebecca Bennett. Van Yerk's ball forward to an isolated Botlian, who's now got support now in the form of Duncanson. Plays ahead for Spadano. Cross comes off. Carroll, little spin towards the byline, and Battaglia is able to keep it in and prevent the corner. Lincoln, that's a nice turn away from Doan, who stuck to her task initially. Cross came in, aimed towards Duncanson, who desperately hung out a leg trying to make contact, and her and Dunn came together. Both players went to ground and the decision went the way of the Red Star player. Just been that sort of afternoon for the Azzurri. They created quite a few chances in that first half, and they fought hard for most of the afternoon. You can see why they've been so resilient and have only conceded the 6 goals this season, but just that bit of extra class in the final third that Red Star have is the difference so far. Connolly lost her footing. Carroll looked to profit. Connolly got back to her feet. Carroll played the ball off the former NTC player, and it'll be an away team corner. Perth still with a couple of players, hopefully, from their point of view, to come back later in the season, likes of Gemma Crane and Caitlin Douglas, potentially waiting in the wings for any cup run or top 4 cup appearance. Bennett's corner. Coleman strikes towards goal. Took a nick off McMurdo, I think it was. And we'll try again over on the far side. Take 2 from Bennett, aimed in towards that 6-yard area. McMurdo had the win at the near post. Lincoln needs a little bit of support. She did pretty well to wriggle her way out of a tight corner, and now Perth can try and break here. That's a super pass to pick out Duncanson, who's got Meekins as a forward runner. Pass will bisect Butlian and Cook, and Cohen was in between the pair and clearing away. Duncanson cross, charged down by Dunn. Perth with another throw, a little higher up the pitch. Meekins there with a little shove on Dunn. And that'll give the visitors an easy free kick. A bit of a frustrated challenge, rather, that one from Meekins, I think, fair to say. Meekins with the win in the, McMurdo with the win in the air. Coleman plays back for Kim Carroll. Doan. Carroll continued her run. Connolly will get there first. Tries to spin away from Carroll and does so initially. Harvey then tries to outmuscle Doan, who eventually got back goal side. Connolly's pass forward into the feet of Butlian. Billum got a leg in there. McMurdo works it back for Connolly, who plays back for McMurdo. She's got Duncanson out wide. The header on. Meekins bursts forward from midfield. Billum's tracking her back. Meekins returns the pass for Duncanson, who crosses into the area. Battaglia came out and grabbed it with 2 gloves. Much better football there from Perth, though, who are bracing themselves possibly for one final push in these final 7 minutes or so. Ridley nicks the ball off Cook. She'll drive into the area. Ball may run for Sarah Carroll. Harvey will get out first. Carla Bennett will try and roll away from McMurdo. She's eventually stood up by the Azuri, number 11. And eventually the visitors are able to work it all the way back to Cohen and then Carroll. Spadano lunges in to try and win the ball. Referee said it was a foul. Red Star in no rush here in their bid to see this one out. Forward now from Carroll. Bennett with the flick. Liotta lurking. Connolly in the right position. Carroll wide to Doan. Carroll again. Sarah Carroll's layoff. Doan couldn't quite reel that one in. Perth are keen to get things moving, but Billum gets herself in between opponents and ball. Her charge forward was halted by Van Heerk. Now Ridley, nice little turn, poke inside, looking for Billum. Cook slams it upfield. But they need to be keeping the ball a little better than that, because Red Star are going to be quite happy to just nurdle the ball nicely across their back four. Good win here from Perth, though. Butlian had the switch on and the run from Lincoln, and then in eagerness to try and win the ball, fouled Bennett. Don't think there was anything particularly malicious about that challenge. Nevertheless, it will be a second yellow card shown this afternoon. First one, of course, shown to Larissa Walsh. A second one to Butlian, and now Red Star will make another substitution. Now Kira Mogridge will come on for Coin Doan for the final 4 minutes or so. Carroll's ball forward, headed away by Van Heerk. Spadano with a good win in midfield. Butlian trying to scamper away from two Red Star players. Van Heerk wide for Duncanson. Pass inboard for Butlian, who looks ahead for Spadano. Nice little 1-2, but Coleman was getting back and snuffing out the danger. Bennett's ball over the top was looking for Ridley, but Bennett was swiftly off her line. And now she'll launch long towards Meekins. Liotta fouling Lincoln there. Perth free kick, chance to get some players forward. Driven forward by McMurdo. Shouts for handball in there, nothing doing. Slammed away by the visitors. Mogridge picks the pocket of McMurdo, and she'll try and just punch that one forward for Liotta to run onto, but Harvey's the last player back, and she gets it to a goalkeeper. Switch the play now for Van Heerk, who looks up the line for Cook. Little layoff for Duncanson, who's got a little bit of time to assess her options. Pass into the feet of Meekins, who pokes ahead of her. Cook continued her run, kept her feet, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Carroll is at the near post and sliding away for Ridley, who battles hard to beat Duncanson. And then she's fouled by the Perth winger. And this will do just nicely for the league leaders, who are a minute plus stoppage time away from continuing that unbeaten run. Little clip forward from Carroll. Ridley brings it down. Just driving through a couple of challenges. Went to ground. Didn't get the decision. Perth try to play out of a tight corner. Van Hurk looks up the line. Intercepted by Dunn. Van Hurk went back to try and get it. Spadano and Coleman meet in the middle of the pitch. Bennett comes in to lend a hand. Billum slides it through. McMurdo lost out to Coleman. And then the reverse pass from Liotta. Tried to pick out Ridley, who was offside, and knew it, and hence Van Hurk was able to go back and get it unchallenged. Belatedly, the whistle goes for offside, and Perth will get a free kick. Numbers being thrust forward now as we tick into added time. Rebecca Bennett with a long ball forward. Kim Carroll with the header. Sean Billum with a nudge forward. Van Hurk will reload. She'll play over Dunn and into the feet of Duncanson, whose cross shots didn't take a touch. Off Dunn. And it'll be Red Star who continue their rampant form in season 2022. That's 11 wins in a row this season. And they had to work hard to get the points in this one, but the goal that proved decisive on the afternoon came from Sarah Carroll in the 13th minute. She got on the end of a counter-attacking move which saw Coleman thread through for Larissa Walsh, who then squared for Carroll to tuck it in to the bottom corner for her 9th of the campaign. Perth fought hard. They hit the bar in the first half through Emma McMurdo, and then they possibly should have got the equaliser when Jamie Duncanson put over from 6 yard. Chances were less frequent for the home team in the second period. Red Star needed their defensive resolve and all of it to see off Perth, who just didn't quite have that clinical edge when it mattered. And as a result, Red Star, with the best defence in the league, having only conceded 5 times this season, held firm and claimed a 1-0 win, which ends Perth's 3-game unbeaten run. So Red Star roam clear. They're 13 points clear at the top of the league after an 11th straight win in 2022, following a 1-0 victory over Perth Soccer Club at Dorrien Gardens